somewhere. There we go. We're live. Okay. Hopefully. Oh, I got to double check that actually. So I had everything prepared. I got the timer set up where everything's good, but I don't have
Oh, I just got the notification.
Okay, then we're good. So we're there somewhere. And everything. I just luckily my thing's on mute. And I'm showing that I'm live because it's the first video that pops up. So whatever. All right, we're good. Pressing forward. All right. Well, I got, for anybody who's coming into the chat rather late, I know this is different than our normal time. I think this Saturday I'm good to go back to normal time. Because
I think so. I have my calendar here that contains all of my brain.
For anybody just joining us, our normal time is Saturdays, 9 a.m. Eastern, alternating on each other's channels. But if you follow us on Instagram, you will get the gist of whose channel will be what.
Who's a what to?
Who's a what to it? Sure. You don't have to burp. It's Kool-Aid. My son likes to burp at random times. I'm like, dude, it's not necessary.
Oh, I mean,
and
I don't
my
know.
husband just takes credit for it just now.
When I was in, I guess it was going from elementary school to high school, some of the younger elementary school boys were into this thing of being able to burp the whole alphabet.
Yeah, that was a new thing with us too. Actually, I was the girl that would join in on the boys.
I was like, I don't have that much control, but the volume.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to try to bring that back at this very moment. I don't think it's necessary. All right, there. Okay, let's cover the process. So the way these streams go, for anybody coming in. All right, you can go grab a phone or an iPad or something for FGTV. Not to plug another YouTube channel, but it's for my kid. But what was it? So all right, we give you a prompt, which is a prompt and then 10 words to include in your story. Flash fiction, we usually have around 400 words, but let's face it, if you're under 1,000, you're golden for flash fiction. The first sprint after we get the prompt is to write the prompt, whether that's outlining and drafting. Either way, get to words on a page for you to be able to read. Chandra likes to draft and edit, whereas I like to outline and draft, and then I have a lot of errors. No, give it to Dad. He'll help you. Thank you for asking for help. And so that's what the first 30 minutes is. Then we have a short break of where Chandra and I trade stories via email. And then we give ourselves at least 10 minutes, but usually it's less, to read each other's work and make our own comments. And then we will share our comments with all of you, and you can chime in as well. We like to do a favorite line, maybe a line that maybe needs some work, not bad, but we got some areas to improve. Anything that moved us, that didn't move us, but should have, that kind of beta reader feedback. So if you're trying to learn how to critique, this is kind of perfect for you, because flash fiction is the time for practice. So that's the first prompt. Second prompt is chat helps us, and I'll let you know on that. But it usually takes about 3 hours, and it's fun. It's always fun. It's a lot of fun. Chat can send on Instagram their stories to either Chandra or myself, and we'll read it out loud and give our feedback. And if for some reason something comes up, because like last time when I was on my channel, so 2 weeks ago, my son was biting my husband, so I felt the need to get off real quick. And Chandra still provided the feedback for the story that we read out loud. So we're here for you. No worries.
Absolutely.
All right. Ready for the prompt? The first one?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Oh, actually, hold on. I just remembered. So every now and then, for anybody who doesn't know, on the second prompt, we create our own. Well, I have a spreadsheet that has over 1,000 words on it right now. And every now and then I get this drive of like, ooh, that's a good word, because I hear it throughout the day and I want to add it to my spreadsheet. So I'm adding it to my spreadsheet right now before I forget, because I forgot already. And I gotta do spell check because I don't know how to spell it. Don't judge me.
I mean, what is spelling? Really a bit superfluous.
Okay. It is a good feeling when you type in like spell check, and then you're like, yeah, sure, spell check the whole thing, and then it goes, nah, you're good. Everything's spelled correctly. I'm like, oh, thank God.
That's when I click on Grammarly. I'm like, you sure?
Grammarly, save a girl, please. Devin came.
I have it on my
dear.
my regular like texting keyboard.
Yeah.
Because even if you spell the wrong word, but it's spelled correctly.
Oh yeah, like you're typing your and you screwed up and put an apostrophe in there, like
yeah,
horribly.
Yeah. Grammarly would be like, I don't think that's what you meant.
Grammarly is the evolved version of the paperclip in Microsoft Word.
But also, spell check is like, it's a word.
Yeah, spell check is like, to me, it's the difference between checkers and chess.
Yeah.
Grammarly's chess, spell check is checkers. Everything. Both legit, or word searches and crossword puzzles. One uses more brain cells than the other. And I'm not knocking both because hold on. No, I don't have it with me, but I have an entire word search packet thing. So
it's perfect. Relaxing.
I love it. So it's really helped me at night. Instead of being on my phone at night, not all the time because I do give in, but instead of being on my phone at night, I pull up, I set my phone down, go ahead and charge it, set some relaxing sounds or whatever, and I will grab my word search. And I'm on like puzzle 102 out of 114.
I need to try that. I'm trying really to, like, even if I put on an audiobook to have something to do with my hands to keep me from picking up my phone. And
word search is great because I'm able to have in-depth conversations where I'm engaged, my mind is engaged on the conversation, but a word search, because it's just practically matching, I'm not having to be as mind engaged on the paper. So I'm able to still be engaged, but keep my hands busy, which also helps me not interrupt people.
Is the mood.
I think it's great. There's so many word searches. Like there's word searches where it looks like a crossword puzzle, but they have the coming off one number is like 5 different words. And so it can only fit on those blocks one way. And then there is another one where it's like all the vowels are missing. Where all the vowels are missing, and you got to find the words and then input the vowels. There's like, I didn't realize there's so much diversity with word searches. Honestly.
I'm gonna have to look for some more.
Yeah,
I know that
I'm trying to think about it.
Dollar Tree is now $1.25, but they're a good place to find.
They are. And there's another one where you got 2 word searches but 1 list, and you got to find the words in either. And then there's one where you don't have any words, like no word list, but you got 2 blocks of letters, and and it says, hey, there's 7 6-letter words in here that are in both of them, but only 7 of them are in both. There's both blocks have multiple 6-letter words, but only 7 of them are in both, and you got to find both.
Oh,
that's difficult.
That sounds fun.
I don't like those as much. And then there's quilt word searches where instead of diagonal and stuff, it comes out as a square, and it will tell you, hey, it's clockwise or it's counterclockwise, or the letters are in a straight line, but they will never go diagonal. And then there's bend word searches where the word search will have only 1 bend in it. I'm going on a tangent.
I'm here for it.
I love it.
I'm gonna have to wait. What? Dollar Tree has always been $1.25 in Canada?
Oh,
my life is a lie.
Wait, what's the exchange rate between Canada dollar and American dollar? Because now I'm curious.
Well, that's a good question. Off to the Google.
I just realized. Oh, there's my chat. I'm like, where is my chat in this thing? There we go.
See, $1 US is $1.28 in Canada.
Wonder how things go inside there. Sorry, tangent. Okay, let me. I'm gonna type in the chat, or I might actually make it a banner. because I liked how you made it a banner when you and Barrett did this.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
Sorry, I've
Also,
been chugging.
That way I don't forget where my brain is at.
Yeah. Banners. There we go.
I will also mention on the exchange rate that it has significantly changed. By significantly, I mean about 5 cents over the last 3 months. No, over the last month.
Oh my god. So this prompt already, not to give us down rabbit holes, but the title is The Supernatural Invades the Everyday. You know what that makes me think of? Ghostbusters.
I was thinking Alien versus Predator.
Oh yeah, that too. But no, I think supernatural. I always think like ghost and
Oh yeah. I don't know why that. Maybe it's because the alien will make you from an is to a was.
All right. Metamorphosis.
Now I need to listen to some Hillary Duff.
Oh my gosh, she's been getting so much love on the internet because apparently if you like give her props on TikTok, she'll like stitch with your video and stuff. Like there was this guy, he was listening to So yesterday, and he was like, y'all, Hillary Duff does not get the praise she deserves. And she's like, oh, thanks. And then there was the video for With Love that she did. Some people did the dance from the video. And, oh no, it wasn't the video. It was her performance on Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon, one of the Jimmys. And she like did a whole choreographed dance. So this guy learned it and was doing it, and then she stitched with his video doing the same dance. And I was like, oh,
that's so cool. Now I'm gonna.
I love it when like famous people do stuff. I just put out my first TikTok. Even though it was on Instagram first. It was that book haul Instagram video that I did. I threw that on TikTok.
Oh yeah, love it. I need to do more on TikTok, but I'm such a potato right now. It's fine.
It's fine. It's totally fine.
David, you don't quit it.
Mander.
I've literally made him a little blanket because my new desk is so much bigger. There's more space. So I made him a little blanket spot on the floor under the desk. And he's like, did you say that you want me to just terrorize you in all new ways? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, this one I think is gonna be a doozy. Because it just feels long. Yes, I said doozy.
Why are your feet wet?
Okay, so this prompt is called The Supernatural Invades the Everyday. Words to include are metamorphosis, rogue, shrug, salamander. Did I spell these right? Yeah, sure, we'll go with it. Okay. Rogue, salamander, sleepy, chimpanzee, enzyme, lemon, glance, merge.
They do not want us to have a good time with this one.
No, this one seems so. This is kind of makes me think of what you and Barrett did, where it was like, hey, actually the one I did, where y'all did it with the medieval and barbecue. It's like those don't go together.
Yeah.
And depending on where you are, I just had a conversation on this. But depending on where you are in the U.S., the barbecue, like in Texas, barbecue is only brisket or ribs, no other meat. Whereas other parts of the U.S., it's like barbecue can be any meat as long as it's been slow cooked and has the right sauce. So, but this, how can I do? Like, this is gonna be interesting. I don't know how.
I know. I'm already like, right, Maggie? I'm like, usually I feel like at this point, I'm like, ooh, that word. I'm going to like
getting the prompt. I was like, dude, I will totally make so many Ghostbusters references with this. And now I'm like, I got nothing. Share. I'm about to share my screen so I can,
I think our stories off of this one are going to be interesting.
Yeah.
This might be one of our most.
You know what? I'm kind of just glad that we, okay, don't play yet. No. Okay. I'm just glad that we don't do challenges on the first one. It's like, all right, let's warm up first.
Yeah. I think that would be too much.
Oh my god. Oh, wait, what is this? I grew up in Texas and we barbecued everything. Barbecue was about the cooking style and the sauce. I concur. All right. Um, well, let's just go ahead and pull the band-aid off and start 30-minute timer, I guess.
Let's go for it.
All right. Oh, 30 minutes and maybe more. I'll manipulate the timer if I feel I need to. I'm not ashamed to say. Just shoot me a private message or we'll do hand signals, be like 5 more minutes. All right.
Good help.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Productivity, flash fiction, whatever makes you happy at this moment, or is going to make you cry, like this story will make me. All right. Go.
Close the bathroom door. No, that's all right. This is pretty close proximity wise. Yeah. Close the bathroom door. No, that's all right. This is pretty close proximity wise. Yeah. Close the bathroom door. No, that's all right. This is pretty close proximity wise. Yeah. Close the bathroom door. No, that's all right. This is pretty close proximity wise. Yeah. Close the bathroom door. No, that's all right. This is pretty close proximity wise. Yeah. Close the bathroom door. No, that's all right. This is pretty close proximity wise. Yeah. Close the bathroom door. No, that's all right. This is pretty close proximity wise. Yeah. Close the bathroom door. No, that's all right. This is pretty close proximity wise. Yeah. Close the bathroom door. No, that's all right. This is pretty close proximity wise. Yeah. Close the bathroom door. No, that's all right. This is pretty close proximity wise. Yeah. Close the bathroom door. No, that's all right. This is pretty close proximity wise. Yeah.
All right. I'm not sure where the audio was coming from, by the way, because it sounded like there was talking in the background.
Okay, so that wasn't just me.
No, thought I was going crazy too, and I was like, "What is going on?"
Maybe it was from when the timer was recorded.
Maybe, but I don't know. Hold on,
I didn't think I'd heard it before, and I feel like I've watched that timer before, so.
Yeah, if it comes up again at any point, you know what it is.
Fair.
Okay, where?
So Devin out here is not wrong about the 75 minutes.
Yeah. I still got to get my next word in. Like, I'm still kind of typing a little bit because I finally got it. I decided to kind of go a kind of a Buffy the Vampire Slayer route thing.
Ooh.
Like I'm out here protecting the world. So I went from the perspective of from the person who's trying not to let it become every day. Keeping supernatural from invading every day.
I don't know what to think about what I wrote. I didn't finish editing it.
I'm finally writing the last like sentence right now because I was like, how am I going to convey this? I feel like I kept with the stories.
I don't know. I got all the words in, how their uses, if the story makes sense. I don't know. What I did realize though is where I got to editing, I found one spot where I like left off in the middle of a sentence to go write something else. So there may be more of that. I couldn't say. I also apologize for one of the words used in the story because I had to look up how to pronounce it.
Oh, so you're challenging me these days.
That was kind of mean.
You want water? Okay, go rest out.
But
it's okay. If you just put it phonetically in the email to me, and we're good.
I actually put it phonetically as the title of the story.
Oh, bless you.
And I don't usually title my stories, but I was like, girlfriend, if you can't pronounce this, what makes you think that anybody else is going to be able to pronounce this? And I was like, valid. So, yeah, there's that. Also, my computer kept just freezing. It was like...
Mine started, I thought it was going to freeze because I'm typing the, like, the prompt and everything at the beginning, then I type out all the words, and then I highlight the words and put strike through as the text thing as I do them. And I'm just now going into the email. But thank you. Going to the email, and the God, it was like I'm typing and I'm like 4 words in, but it's still putting the first few letters in the first word. I'm like, oh no, not today. Not today.
Don't do that. Yeah, no, it's definitely not even letting me do the like cut and paste that I usually do. So if nothing else, I might screen grab it and send you an email of the screen grab.
Oh wow.
Because
I actually noticed I'm on my personal now, so I need to jump over to my writer one. Though at this point, yep. Well, you could almost take my identity.
Google Chrome is not responding.
Oh, that's always fun.
You just do whatever you need to.
All right. So I guess we got to spill some time here to allow it. I could have used 75 minutes for sure. Prompt number 19.
I am unsure if I'm going to be able to send this to you because my computer seems to be having a stroke right now.
Even a highlight paste into Instagram or?
No, it's not letting me highlight it.
What about your phone? Like take pictures with your phone, and
That's
I don't mind. And then send it via Instagram.
Yeah.
And then I'll just read it and like, hell, I can transcribe it from there. 358 words. To me, honestly, I'm not proud of this one at all. I don't feel good about it.
Yeah.
Like, but I think that's going to make me more welcome when you're like, Natalie, this is a hot mess. And I go, I know. Can we make it lukewarm?
Maybe the computer's going to do things. I mean, I have the same feeling about this one. My computer's absolutely losing its mind. I just sent it to you on Instagram. Yeah, I feel the same about this one. Like, but I mean, I feel like we looked at the words and we were all like, what?
So is it that our mindset made it bad?
No, because I feel like I see some prompts and I'm like instantly like, ooh, this prompt is my jam. I'm gonna write the heck out of this. And this one,
like that.
We were both
I saw the prompt, and you and I both were like, yes. And I'm like, she's gonna go dark and everything. And then all the words, I'm like,
no, this is not how this works. Yeah. No, 100%. I don't feel like it was the mindset. I think it was like the prompt itself is great. But then the words, it's like, what does that have to do with the price of beans?
Okay, so I got yours. And that should be able to work for me. And then do you have, I need another timer. Do you have access to your email?
Yeah, I can read it on my phone.
Okay, perfect. So this will be fun. We're working. Thank God for modern technology, but at the same time, for not having modern technology work right.
Oh, okay. My computer's just like, okay, that was the thing I did. I was like,
no rush, computer. It's fine. We understand.
You just take all the time you need, sweetie. I think I might have to do a hard reboot.
So, interestingly enough, I haven't heard that background noise the whole time. So, I don't know. And I tried to close out all apps and stuff. Like, it was, just to make sure.
Well, also, though, once we were in the sprint, I was on mute. So, even if I did have something running in the background, you shouldn't have been able to hear it.
Yeah, and that's what I did. I jumped into the StreamYard and I was looking and I saw that you were on mute because I was going to put you on mute. I was like, oh, she forgot to put herself on mute. No, that wasn't the case. Oh, I was about to start the timer and I forgot to share the screen.
Ooh. I'm going to restart my computer. Oh.
No problem. If your computer's got 10 minutes if it needs it.
Oops.
Or even
I
longer.
can't even get Task Manager to open.
Oh, I hate that. My dude, that's scary.
I mean, it is my bad because I have like 84 tabs open, and I'm not just saying that because of the meme. I literally have 84 tabs open, but
Yeah.
you had one job, you know? Was to keep my 84 tabs alive.
Okay. Well, hopefully you saved recently.
Oh yeah, it's automatically saves.
Perfect. All right, you ready for
Yes.
reading each other's?
Ready.
All right. Well, if we get done early, cool. Or if you want, we can wait till your computer's working right.
It'll be fine. I have another one. It's just switching tabs on the one that I'm live on. Hi, Barrett. Welcome, welcome.
You're here. Hey, you got 10 minutes to write this prompt if you want.
Do it.
All right. Let's get started. 3, 2, 1.
I'm all set.
Sweet. I'll just let the music play out at this point. It's nice and peaceful.
Hi,
And
Margaret.
there was no background noise. So, while we're here, okay, that's actually pretty nice. I like that chime. Personally. Hold on, let me jump over my screen. All right. Remove that. Make us bigger. So you can fill the screen. Close that down. Oh my god, I'm jumping around. All right. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
I first of all want to say that I absolutely cracked up when I read about our settings. Because
I know, me too.
we might as well be in the same place.
We're there. We're there.
I was
What
like,
if this happened at the same time? That would have been even more hilarious.
ooh, oh, that would actually work too.
Oh my god, where like my bad guy was in your story and it turned out not to be. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that would be fun. We should make that one of our challenges where we shorten our writing time. And then I think we talked about something similar to this.
Yeah, we were talking about switching.
Mm-hmm. But where we make it a
but I think what we need to do is we would take some pre-gaming of like, here's the setting.
Mm-hmm.
And what we need to do is we would have to have a little bit of the plot worked out and figure out who's writing the protagonist and who's writing from the antagonist, and then switch them, but still write from the protagonist, from the antagonist. Like, so when we switch, both stories have both parts, but it's at different times.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to play with that.
Well,
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun with those.
Okie doke. I don't know if my mic is too far away. My cable.
Your mic's been fine. I think you bumped your cable, dear, because now I can't hear you.
How about now?
Much better.
Okay, I hit the mute button because I'm talented. But if it's too quiet when I'm facing this way, just yell at me.
Okay.
Okie doke. Here goes. Sarah's boots crunched the gravel, her and Jared's headlamps lighting the way. At least the zoo is closed, she said to Jared. Yeah, but we still have to keep the janitors from seeing anything. Jared turns, raising his stun gun towards the chimpanzee's cage, and they yelp and call. Sarah pushes the top of Jared's barrel down. Calm down, cowboy. You know to trust our enzyme tracker before we pull out our binders. The pair continue toward the reptile house. Are we sure there is a rogue one? I know they're invisible until the metamorphosis, but I was able to count 3 that we took down. Rookie, I counted behind you. There were 2. Plus, you should know by now, foursins travel in 4s, hence the name. Jared holds up his hands with a shrug. I didn't mean any offense. Sarah rolls her eyes and glances through the glass door toward the reptile house. Clear. Jared steps in front and immediately freezes. I smell lemon. Sarah looks around at the nocturnal reptiles and finds most of them sleepy, or actually sleeping. The glass cages at the far end break like something pushes the glass inwards. The next cages closer to Jared and Sarah break in the same fashion. Go, Sarah says as she opens the door behind her to get them out. Jared follows her and slams the door shut. The second after he steps away, the door bursts off at the hinges. Jared slams to the ground to avoid the door. It merged, Sarah yells. Large footprints form in the gravel and are wiped away. Bind it, now! Sarah holds up her gun and pulls the trigger. Jared scrambles to his knees and does the same. Yellow and blue lights shoot out of their guns and encircle the space above the footprints. The beast tried to run, almost yanking Jared's gun from his hands, but he held strong. After 5 minutes of struggling, the animal finally laid down. Its form was completely outlined. It looks like a salamander, Jared says. Sarah grabs the mini trap to set below the beast. Yeah, if salamanders had 6 legs. I like it. I think it's fun. I also have to preface this by saying the only Ghostbuster that I saw was the one with Chris Hemsworth, and I was really just too distracted to appreciate the story.
Well, I went away from Ghostbusters and more Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Okay.
So,
I saw
this was like first think of the first movie of Resident Evil and everything, where there's trained people that are hunting something, and there just happens to be a rookie, and we would be the viewer kind of learning what the hell everything is going on. And I think the hardest part for me was coming up with things. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I don't want to call it a gun, but at the same time, I don't want to say phaser or whatever. That's overused, and it's like, I need something.
Yeah.
I have to admit, hearing you read it, I like it more, and I'm like, oh no, it's not as boring as I thought.
No, I thought you did really good. I had a good picture for what was happening, and I could understand his confusion because I was also confusion, and I loved the fact that she's like, basically, you dum-dum, you should know this stuff. this is not your first day on the job, but also it's kind of your first day on the job.
Yeah, like, so, you know enough to be on the team now, like, recognize where your experience ends and what you need to learn instead of it kind of makes me think of Will Smith and Men in Black and everything. Like, kind of learning everything and trying to grasp.
Yeah, like, put your sunglasses on. but for real though, like, the characterization around her is so strong, even in this short scene. Like, we get that she's the lead, we get that she's the responsible one, we get that she's protecting him in a sense. Because even as this exciting, scary moment is happening, she's still being like, do the things, don't die.
hey, pay attention, let's stay alive.
Yeah, and so I like that. I really like that. And I don't feel like I know the rookie as well, but I think that kind of helps in this context because from the reader's perspective, we have more in common with the rookie. So to be a little off kilter, I think makes sense from his perspective.
Yeah. And I did try to give him a little bearing, like where you could see that he was worthy, such as right as the door flies off, he slams to the ground. So he at least has good instinct to not get hit.
Yeah. And I think it's definitely one of those things where you razz the rookie, but when they don't die, you're like, go you. So, yeah. Also, I just want to jump into the chat to say real quick, Maggie, please write about a dystopian world where they eat the creatures.
I know. Like, let's have some crazy, like, cannibalism something or other.
Yeah. Don't die to me. Yeah. But, like, please, let's have. So my favorite...
Everybody, you can Flash. Anybody can Flash. It practice. Yeah. Like, the whole point of Flash is it may suck. Like, I know Chandra and I, we're not happy with our stories, but at the same time, we are seeing there are certain qualities in our stories. But the point is, this Flash is the time for practice, the time for doing something new and different without fully committing to a 50,000 page word novel, not page. Dear Lord.
Well, also, I think when Barrett was on last week, we talked about how I used like 3 or 4 different words to describe the lights or different lights in this part of the story. And we talked about how that just came from feedback that you'd given me where you were like, hey, you used the same words back to back to back to back in multiple parts in the story. And that was something that I did commonly, but wasn't super aware of.
And I actually like, even though I know other Flash fictions, they just have a prompt. I actually love the 10-word approach because it's helping the creativity because we forget words so many times, or we're trying to think of creative ways. And I feel like this 10-word approach, even though this one was maddening,
Mm-hmm.
it usually helps us be creative. And I definitely like that. But hey, I want to promote Aphrodite has a book birthday coming up. So we definitely need to pay attention
Happy
and
book
be on the lookout
birthday.
for that.
Was this piece a latest episode in a series or a standalone? They're all just standalone flash that we write.
Yeah.
Right here on the stream.
We just take the prompt and we go for it. So if you ever go back, like once the streams are done, Chandra's got me into it, so you can thank her for it. But I now put chapters in, and so that it will say the prompt, and it'll have a number 1 for this one because we do 2 prompts for this. But yeah, and then I love this.
Yay!
The first flash fiction.
That's so exciting.
On Friday. It's the first time we go through it. It's fine. For anybody who is not aware, I have children. They exist, but I don't make them try to not exist on my streams. It's fine. Luckily, they're not hassling me. They're actually hassling my husband, but it's fine. They're in close proximity. All right. More on the 10-word approach. So the 10-word approach, this book called Write the Story, I have an entire series where I'm tracking myself doing each of these prompts. And there's a prompt, like today's was supernatural in the everyday, or the supernatural invades the everyday. And then there was 10 words to include: metamorphosis, rogue, shrug, salamander, sleepy, chimpanzee, enzyme, lemon, glance, and merge. My approach is I will change these words. Like in my story, as you heard, I said they merged. I may merge past tense to work in the context that I needed to. Whereas Chandra's approach is she takes the words as they are. She does not make them plural, ed, past tense, whatever. It works with what you got. So it's really what makes you comfortable. We don't judge each other on either of these, though I do hold her in higher regard for having the ability not to change them. Just saying.
Sometimes I mess up. I when I was editing, I caught it and I was like, "Ooh, you slipped it, girl."
Yeah. So the 10 words is that you are to include these in your flash fiction. The flash fiction, the description, Chandra and I try to keep it around 400 words, but as long as you're under 1,000, you hit the mark of titling it as a flash fiction. And the best advice I've ever heard about, not advice, description of the difference between like a story and a flash fiction is that think of watching the Olympics and actually watching every single scene or every single event, so forth. Whereas a flash fiction is like watching that really good pole vault that was amazing. That single pole vault is the flash fiction, whereas the novel would be the Olympics. You both give you the Olympics, but one's like TikToks. Think of flash fiction like TikTok.
And the other thing about it too is if you struggle with writing scenes in that would no. I feel like we were both.
But I did see
for that.
Just Eva, she did one where it wasn't using it wasn't 10 words long, but it was taking those 10 words and making it fit in like 2 sentences, and it was beautifully hilarious and awesome.
Yeah,
and she wasn't able to get all the words, but it was still a fun, which I could always see that as a fun little thing to do as well.
Oh yeah. Well, so that's the other thing about flash fiction though, is if you have a hard time with writing scenes or you want to refine the way that you write scenes, writing flash fiction is a way to do that, because you get very clear and specific about what needs to go in that scene to convey your specific message.
Yeah, it's kind of think of it like just it's the time to practice and fine tune, like, and see the things that need to be worked on, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, no, 100%. So my favorite lines, I have 2.
It's my phone. That's why this is clear and crisp. I don't know how it works.
My favorite lines from Natalie's story are...
Oh, yes. We always do this.
Sarah pushes the top of Jared's barrel down. Calm down, cowboy. You know to trust our enzyme tracker before we pull out our binders. I I just like the way she talks to him. Like,
You always love it when I throw in sass.
she's so sassy. And he's like, you get the sense that he's being dramatic when really it's just like, oh, it's the monkeys or the chimpanzees.
Yeah.
And she's like, calm down. And he's like, geez. And I didn't even do anything. Like, he's being careful. And she's like, stop. You're doing too much. So
it's like I used to be high strung, or still am, but I had a supervisor one time that was like, Natalie, you don't have to cure cancer today. And it was one of those moments where I'm like, okay, thank you.
So tomorrow,
so tomorrow's totally free game then. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just gonna take notes for it today. Outline on the cure. Okay, sorry. Back to this. All right, so that was your favorite line.
Yes. The ones that so there was a couple parts that I had a little bit of trouble with. The glass cages at the far end break like something pushes the glass inwards. It's not that I dislike the sentence. I don't think I love it in this tense. I think it's a little awkward in this.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think it properly conveyed what I was imagining, because what I imagine is this invisible thing is so freaking huge that it was bursting the glass fronts like back into the cages. Like if you're thinking of a reptile house, how it's a long thing.
Yeah.
And I need to convey that better for sure.
So from what you're saying, I'm thinking a little more along the lines of the faces of the glass cages at the end of the hall seem to implode.
Okay. Every time I think of it, I think of that I'm about to say the glass is going out, and I'm like, no, it's not going in the hallway. It's being pushed back into the cage, I guess.
Or maybe the room seemed to bend.
The glass bulged inward.
I like that. Yeah.
That one, because then it shows like a stress to it.
Yeah.
Because you're assuming this isn't really glass, it's probably plexi or something, because it deals with animals. I mean, I'm assuming that's what they put in front of like the gorillas and cheetahs and stuff. So I could see that bulge and then burst. Okay, yeah. I like it. This is why we have these conversations. And this is why I'm gonna once I'm done, which by the way, I did the math, I will be done with 100 what is it called? 100 prompts by June of next year.
That's exciting.
Yeah, if I'm able to continue doing like 3 a week, roughly.
That's awesome. So I have two more. I have 2 more points.
Ooh, yeah, bring it on.
After 5 minutes of struggling, the animal finally laid down. I feel like that could have been more. Yeah.
Stretched out the struggle.
And not just to say the animal laid down, just after 5 minutes of struggling, it doesn't just be like, take a nap.
It should have collapsed or
or like some kind of like gave a sigh of like resignation. I don't know, just something to indicate that that's
a thing
tired.
I didn't really include, because with senses and showing, I didn't even include auditory. Like, what sound does this creature make that they're fighting? Is it, and when it's struggling, I'm assuming it's in pain or it's grunting or something.
So yeah, I think that goes back to the part about the glass, because if there's a sound there, then it's going to make more sense when you say that the glass bulged inward and burst, and what sound is the creature making when that happens to the glass, so that we have the awareness that it's not just like some supernatural screech or shockwave that's forcing the glass inward. It's actually the creature and the size of the creature, because that gives a bit more scale.
Gotcha. And surrendered instead of collapsed. I like that. That surrendered. Yeah. That's definitely stronger. Concave was another idea on the glass. So okay.
So
other thing to fix, because we know it needs fixing.
Now that I'm saying it out loud, though, it's not that there's 3 separate problems. These are all tied together, and it's around the description of the beast, because then the last part is Sarah grabs the mini trap to set below the beast, and that was confusing. I'm like, how's she getting under it? Is it levitating? Like,
I should have said it like set at the end or one of the ends or something, because I was trying to convey like it's huge, and I was like, but it needs to get smaller, but I don't want to go into detail going, oh hey, yeah, we can minimize them.
Okay, so that's where I was confused, because I'm like, if this creature is so big, because I didn't get the scale of the creature before, so now I was like, well, how do they use a mini blaster on this massive creature? I am confused. So that makes more sense. But I think the bottom line is,
how's it going to get this small?
Yeah, I think all of this would be resolved through more description of the creature that they're hunting, even though it's really hard to see.
Absolutely using surrendered, collapsed, or any of those other than laid down. Laid down sounds like it was a choice, and I need to make sure that it was not the choice of the beast, animal, whatever.
Yeah. But I did love the last line. Yeah, if a salamander had 6 legs, because Miss Sassy Pants over here is just queen.
Like, so, it's that backhanded compliment of like, yeah, that makes sense in Mars or something like.
Yeah, I like that. But I do think, especially when you go to the part about wanting to shrink it, I think while that happens, maybe she like shoots something at it or like hits it with this goo and it starts to shrink, and then to convey that, she picks up the cube and tosses it into her bag or something like that, just to let us know that it's gotten real small and now they've collected it. I don't know. It's just a thought.
Ooh, I like that idea. Well, it's already got the binding around it from the guns, and maybe they both press like a button on their gun that like tethers the line or severs the line, and then like closes it. So I don't know. I could have fun with that.
Yeah, I think I like the story. I like the characters, and I like the vibe.
The vibe. All right. So we got some edits. It's really just coming down to, and of course at the end there, that's when I'm like, oh my God, I got 2 minutes left. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. So probably skipped over a bunch.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this story gets a lot of leniency because this is probably the hardest prompt we've ever done.
This is definitely the hardest prompt we've ever done. And I fully agree on, we're going to be gentle, but yet honest on our feedback. Okay. All right. So, ready for yours? All right. I do like this story. And I was expecting, like, it started, I will let you know, with the first paragraph, I'm like, oh, we're going sweet. Oh, Chandra's branching out. And I'm like, no, this is false sense of security. Stay strong. Read down further. And I'm like, yeah, there it is. All right. And I actually, while this was playing on my computer, I had to look up the word because I didn't like the phonetic spelling. So I was like, nah, I got to hear it. So I looked up the word, and when I was playing it, I was like, play. And then I'd say it. Then I'd play it again, say it. I'm like, and I probably, now it's been so long. Hold on.
It was mean.
We're going to go, we'll try again. We'll see where this goes. All right. I'm not even going to do the title. I'm just going to go straight into the story. And since technically I say the title later. All right. Most people are not aware of the simple ways the supernatural invades the everyday. The metamorphosis of a butterfly, the fragile skin of a salamander slipping beneath the jagged rock, or the transformation of a child from a little devil to a sleepy cherub. I'd become intimately familiar with all those things. It was part of what had driven me to this point, going rogue. Family has always been important to me. Something trite, but true. Not everyone gets a good one. So the family I had left, I protect with every fiber of my being. I shrug off the chill that takes my spine as I walked past the shrieking chimpanzee enclosure. I think they know I'm up to no good. I'll be on the cameras anyway. It doesn't matter. I reached the place where the paths from the aquatic animals and the jungle creatures merge. This section of the park is for the reptile house. The doors stand open like an entrance to a cave. I pass the black frogs with lemon yellow spots on one side, then glance at the bright blue ones housed in the opposite wall. There are many others, reds, greens, and oranges. I let them pass deadly. It's not only found in snake venom, but cobras and mambas are some of the most notable carriers in the animal kingdom. When they find him dead tomorrow, will they see through my ruse? I don't so much care if they do, only that they remain mystified long enough that the poison can do its work. It doesn't take me long to milk the snake. I've already designated my handcrafted injection system, fitting that it uses snake's fangs. They will be wondering what kind of snake it is. There are no mambas or cobras in the region. I close the door behind me as I leave the reptile room. My metamorphosis from girl next door to murderer is almost complete. There's my dark horror, thriller, daunting story. Because the chat, you probably like me, a little bright-eyed doe at the beginning of the chapter. And then you got bit by the snake by the end. So we like the reptile house, apparently. And what I liked about this is the kind of growth. It was like the story, the main character themselves went from girl next door to murder. And the story kind of went from sweet, oh no, we're going dark. And so it was this like simultaneous growth. So the reader was going on a growth along with the main character. And the parts that really stood out to me and kind of painted the picture was the focus on family and everything. But maybe the questions I have is like, is this person a threat to her family, or is this person part of her family, but also a threat and everything? Like one of those where like let's say it was a bad uncle or something that was a threat to her siblings. Mm-hmm. Something like that could have. Those are the questions that went through my mind, because I'm assuming the worst about this person that she wants to kill. Which is funny how we can read a story and without reading someone other's point of view, we're like, oh yeah, we're totally on her side. He must have been horrible if she planned to kill him. Like mm-hmm. We always do that. So the parts that I really liked was that family. I love my favorite line as a parent was the transformation of a child from a little devil to a sleepy cherub. Like I could picture that when my kids are asleep and their little cheeks are puffy and stuff. And I'm like, oh. And especially when I see new babies and they're asleep and I'm like, oh, I want more. No, you don't. No, you don't. They change. They go. They may become sleepy cherubs, but they go right back the other way too. So, mm-hmm. The parts that I felt could use some work were in the second paragraph where she kind of goes on a tangent of he'll be dead tomorrow. Will the cops see through the ruse? Doesn't care if they do. Only that they stay mystified would do the work. I think maybe if even just a break happened after that, like make a new paragraph, because the next line after that of is it doesn't take long to milk a snake. Like it kind of it seemed like she's daydreaming about something else, and I forgot that she was already in here. So I feel like the daydream should be its own paragraph, and then oh yeah, we're milking a snake. Which should have been its own paragraph instead of together.
Yeah, or even if it was like if I moved the part where she's milking the snake above, so that while she's milking the snake, she's thinking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even better. So the so she's talking about cobras and black mambas are not the only ones in the animal kingdom that have this enzyme. Makes sense. But then she says they're not found in this region. And I get what you're saying, because I'm assuming what you mean is you can find them in the reptile house, but they're not in the region mm-hmm. Of the area that they live, which is fine. But also stating it made it seem like, so then for a split second, my mind went, so what snake did she milk then? Not remembering, oh, she's in the snake house. She probably grabbed a mamba or a cobra. Like if you actually specified what snake she grabbed to milk, like maybe she's eyeing the snakes and like shopping almost, going, no, ooh, yes, that one. That would have helped. And it's like, okay, she's milking this. And then, but from a reader standpoint, my thought is, okay, if it's not indigenous to the region, that kind of limits where, like, cops, if they do their investigation, it's confirmed of this venom or whatever. If you can find out the specific, I don't know if venom's traceable. This is where our her author research comes into play. But if it's if you can trace a venom to the type of snake, and if so, then would this person be in danger because they were seen on the cameras? Would they be in danger of being caught? Because how many places would have cobras? How many zoos are in the area and stuff that she would be able to get this?
Yes. The answer to that question, I probably could have made this a bit clearer, is the reason it's important that she picks a snake that's not common to the region is because if it is common to the region, there's bound to be a hospital in the area that has the anti-venom. So she wants to make sure whatever happens, there's enough time for the venom to kill him before they can A, figure out what kind of snake it is, and B, get their hands on the anti-venom. So that's why she picks something that's not from the region, and she doesn't care if they find her, because by the time they find her, it's going to be too late and dude's going to be dead. But I don't know if that was clear.
Okay, because that's kind of what Aphrodite said. Like, she doesn't care, but she's just curious how long it's going to give her and everything. And then I bared it. It's like she's just casually considering murder. I don't think it was a consideration. I think it was a full-out plan by that point. Thought him through not having anti-venom. Cold like Alaska.
Oh, thank you.
So my other favorite line was the last line. I love the way you use metamorphosis of like, and to me, it kind of takes me back to a previous prompt we did where the prompt title was, the last moment of childhood. And you and I both kind of took it as a loss of innocence. And I think planning to commit murder is a complete loss of innocence. So, but it kind of had that feel to it. And that's why I really like that last line too. So like, I like the opening, like the opening was like Pleasantville, black and white, look at the trees and the butterflies and stuff. And the ending was like, no. So I really enjoyed that one.
I think.
And how's your computer working, by the way?
Oh, it's back.
Yay.
Yes. But I think that's good feedback and something that I need to work on. This is a thing that I do just in general, though. I begin a conversation in the middle of the conversation and assume that everyone has been in my head with me the whole time, which
I do that when I'm talking anyways. Like, never mind stories, when I'm just talking.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It was so bad that one of my bosses was like, she'd stop me. She'd be like, subject. Just tell me what subject we're on.
I would do that. Like, I remember I was going, hey, about this Friday. And they go, what? Like, or no, I go, hey, so the schedule, is it set in stone and everything? And they just look at me like, what are you talking about? I'm like, okay, this Friday. I lay it out. Just too many times I've jumped into the conversation and I'm asking questions when no one got the lead in before that. Good times.
Right. Yep. Share with the world where exactly you are.
Yeah, like just show us where the bookmark is before you start reading off the page.
If you're planning a murder, your innocence is already lost, but now your actions are showing it. Well,
risk of getting caught.
Are you saying that I'm not innocent anymore?
Wait, does that mean every single author is not innocent because we've planned murders?
I had that on one of my streams. We were talking about it. I'm like, yeah, authors are pretty much we're all murderers. We think it all the way through. The only thing we don't do is the execution.
Which is funny though, because there was an actual I forget where, but I remember my husband telling me about it, but it was an actual court case where this guy is getting like taken to court by his wife because he had like an entire like story of different ways that he was going to kill her. But the thing is, they couldn't pin it on him. They deemed it as intellectual property and stuff because he never bought anything to kill her. He never actually acted on it and stuff. So I was like, well, I mean, when authors are planning to kill, I mean, even though our characters are fake or any similarities to real people are just coincidence and stuff like that, like, it's still like we're not getting pinned for anything.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to execute. Whoops. Did not get that memo.
That's funny. Do that to my friends.
Murder is the easy part. Is this? Yes. You need to be friends with a cleaner.
I mean, that's the funny part, though. It's like it's a union job. We write the story, but that ain't my job.
I'm sure there's stories out there. I would have to find out of how to clean.
It sounds okay. So there's a channel on YouTube, and some of you are probably already going to be looking this up when I say this, but there is a channel on YouTube where they go through crime scene cleanup. Y'all, it's too much work.
It's too much.
It's so. I mean, now I'll be honest. If you have a hard time with gore, don't do this to yourself.
God, no.
If you're like me and you just have to know everything, then go for it. It's kind of horrible, I guess. I know this sounds really bad, but mostly I look at it as very interesting. And it also like gives me more reasons to make sure that I regularly check in with people.
Legit.
It's not even that it's scary. It's just like crime scene cleanup
Gore.
is horrifying unless you grew up with the hoarder, then it isn't so bad. Valid.
I got lost on YouTube earlier today, and it's this woman. She cleans her followers' houses, but she gets sponsors by like cleaning companies and stuff, and so she does it for free. But what she does, and it's actually really sweet. So some of her
is she like from
people. Yeah,
from
she's
Europe?
like from Switzerland or something like that.
I love her.
I was watching it, and I get happy. Like, I like watching pressure washing videos and stuff. Like, I like clean. And
no, her videos like, make me cry.
These people, like, they have like depression or they've disabled or something, or like pretty much where they can't clean for like years and stuff, and come up with reasons like for family and friends not to come over ever and stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's horrible. But got lost in that, and I bet she would be really good though if it came down to cleaning up.
Oh, for sure.
A rough situation.
But well, this is definitely a sidebar, but I think it's important for people to remember when they're talking to other people or they're talking about someone's living situation, and they're saying that it's like it's horrifying or it's disgusting or how could a person live like that? The point is that the person doesn't want to live like that, but depression and anxiety are huge. So a person must be aware that their living conditions are disgusting and unable to do something about it. And then there's the shame on top of that of not wanting anybody to know.
And then it just becomes overwhelming at a certain point where it's like they want to fix it, but they don't even know where to start. Like, and that, even with my daughter, like, I mean, she's 11 and she always wants my help on cleaning. Like, not just cleaning, but also decluttering, I think is just as important. And she practically wants me to do it for her, but it's because she doesn't really know where to start. And I'm like, okay, you just got to divide it into like 5 different areas. There's clothes, there's food, and food related items and stuff, items that don't belong like in the room at all, then items that do belong in the room, they're just in the wrong place, you know. And when you break it up into those, and then there's just straight out trash. But when you divide it up in those little areas, it can help kind of just make it a little bit easier. And they say just doing that like 5 minutes a day, or doing a room a day or something, and just making it a little bit smaller.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, I remember that show, Buried Alive, about hoarders. Psychology cannot throw things away that she might need. My mother-in-law still has the rock that was inside my husband's ear at like age 3 or something. No. How old were you? Okay. Yeah. And I understand the sentiment behind keeping the rock is when it's tied to kids, it's harder to throw it away. And she also spent $300 to get the rock out of his ear, so I wouldn't.
I feel like
$300 rock.
That I would keep just to hold over.
Oh no, she has held it over his head. He knows about it. Yeah,
I like how we were both just like, oh yeah, he had a rock in his ear.
He put a rock in his ear. Like, but every kid has put something in their ear or their nose. It's just the question is, did the kid get it out themselves, or did they have to go to the hospital, or their mouth? Like while I was traveling for work, my son swallowed a screw. Luckily, it didn't have the point edge; it had a blunt edge, and then the other part was blunt as well. But still, it could have been.
Yeah, that's scary.
Right.
But yeah, anything like that where they're cleaning and stuff, I'm just like, especially since I know she'll be like, okay, this is the situation for this family, and here's what I'm gonna do. And she's just so sweet, and I think it's also that she's non-judgmental about it.
Like she's just like that. They lived like this, and I'm glad I'm here to make it better for them, and because also like one of the places she was cleaning, she was like, it would have cost this person $15,000, and I'm able to do it for free for them, like where they don't have to pay at least because like this cleaning company paid for her and her boyfriend to fly from like to Belgium or something. Like they had to fly and the hotel stay and everything, as well as cleaning this woman's apartment. So I just, yeah, I'm glad.
She's an angel of mercy. She's wonderful.
She is. Okay, so let's try to go happy. Well, you can still go dark with the next one. But let's chat if you want to come in and give me a number between 1 and 50 with a corresponding letter between A through T. So like 1L is stamp. So I'm gonna add that one in just now. Just because
you want me to type it up?
Yeah, you can. So we got stamp, STAMP. So 1L is stamp. So if anybody wants to throw that in. All right. All right. T2. That is towel. So we need to get 10 words, and then we'll also choose our writing prompt off the spreadsheet that I have. Because when I'm bored, When I'm bored, I just come up with different things and I just throw it down. Tile, T-I-L-E. L9 is slide, S-L-I-D-E.
You need 6 more. What about B7?
B7. Let's go. Hazel, H-A-Z-E-L.
H4.
H4 is name, N-A-M-E.
A1.
It's kind of funny. Army, A-R-M-Y. It's kind of funny. My son, instead of saying what's that, he goes, what's name? What name?
That's so cute.
All right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7.
7. So we need 3 more.
Q40.
Q40. Ooh, we're jumping. All
And
right.
P5.
Q40. Q40 is riff, RIFF. And then what was the other one?
P5.
P5. And then, all right, let's get that one. Teddy. TEDDY. And now we just need one more, right? So the story is that Michael came in with, I don't have an X0. It's only 1 through 50. Aphrodite, by the way. When I was young, my babysitter's son, around my age, used to wear a pair of underwear on his head. I now realize he looked like a little Napoleon.
So my brother and I used to do that, but it would be when my parents had company. We would, and like we were not included in what was going on, so we'd get bored, and we would. There's like a circuit in the house that went through through the kitchen, living room, hallway, and then back up through the spare bedroom. So we would run in that circuit as fast as we could with the underwear on our head, like they couldn't see us. Because we were so fast.
So Aphrodite, I don't have an X. I only go up to T right now. I'm still in the middle of adding more words to try to get A through Z. Then I'll start adding after 50. But I ended up going with T50, which is weep. WEEP. All right, now for our writing prompt. Chat, if you don't mind, picking a number between 1 and 82.
Aphrodite, did you want to replace X50 with T6?
Oh, T6. Well, then I can do that. Let's do that. Where's my spreadsheet? T6. All right, so I'm taking out weep, and we'll replace it with fortify.
Okie doke. Got it. We're good on our 10 words. So now we've got 69 and 81.
So 69 is called counting down. 81 is when dreams come true. Do we want to flip a coin?
Oh, I've got good stuff for both of those.
I know you do. Your brain is already going. I gotta get a coin.
69 is the first number on Aphrodite's mind. Shocker.
Oh, all right. I got a coin. It's actually a euro. So the 20 will be heads. Which one do you want that to be?
69.
All right. And the back is, I think, William Shakespeare's head.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it. Either way. All right. And so that will be when dreams come true. So we got when counting down is heads and when dreams come true is tails. I'm just going to let it land on the floor. It is. We're just going to, I was going to bring the camera. It is on tails.
So it's when dreams come true?
When dreams come true.
Okay.
Which you will still make dark in some way, like a be careful what you wish for story.
I hope you don't mind reading spicy stuff because that's where it is.
Oh, please. I'm good.
Okay.
All right. So we got when dreams come true.
I'm going to drop this in the chat for everybody.
And then I'll get I was about to say the letters, then I was like the numbers. No, the words. All right,
so that's in the chat.
Oh, I still got to find a... Yeah, Spencer, what do you need? Dad's getting you food. He is impatient. All right. There we go.
And then
So 30 minutes timer that I gotta get. What were you gonna say?
oh, the challenge. What challenge are we doing?
Oh yeah, the challenge. Okay. I almost forgot. All right, so challenge options.
Oh, sure.
So
Let me read those words out for Aphrodite again. The
yes.
words, the phrase is when dreams come true. The words are stamp, towel, tile, slide, hazel, name, army, riff, teddy, fortify.
Perfect.
And then for our challenge,
so our challenge, since the writing challenge, we actually get to choose what to write. We don't choose the prompt, but we will choose the challenge because we only know our limits. The challenge we've done last time was write a story twice from 2 different perspectives. That was done last time. This time we can the ones I've mentioned before is write all the characters as animals. Remove sight or sound from all the characters. Make the story under 200 words. Set during a historical event. Choose a POV that you've never written from before. Recognizing that if we ever publish, we would do sensitivity readers, but at this time we don't have that option. Write only dialogue or write only narrative.
ooh. For my idea, both of those would be really hard.
Yeah.
I will say your choice because I'm torn between the last two.
Between what the write only dialogue and narrative and what's
oh, okay. So I would have to choose for my story if I'm going to write only dialogue or only narrative.
Yeah. You get to choose which one, but you got to stick to it. Like that's the prompt. Because like for me on one of my previous ones, when I did like a found footage thing, it was only dialogue. And I think I did only narrative another time before. But for me, I'm such a fan of dialogue that I think I would have to do only narrative.
Let me try that because I feel like I do a lot of narrative in my stories. Like I've already done a bunch where
this is where it works. Is that like I'm always dialogue heavy. That's where my characters come out and stuff. So all right, we'll do that. You'll do dialogue. I'll do narrative.
Yep. Whew, this is gonna be a tough one.
I'm gonna have to think of more writing challenges because I only have like 11 of them, and a few of them are like, "Hey, take something that you've already written."
Yeah, I'll have to look at that too and dump some on there.
Yeah. Okay, so let me get my prompt. Where is it? Or not the prompt, the timer.
Challenge: put a pair of your underwear on your head and go conquer Prussia. Michael, are you saying all this stuff because you're reading War and Peace and it's starting to warp your mind?
Oh,
because that's valid.
All right, good. I got the timer down a little bit.
Also, sorry if my light is blinding everyone. My new desk setup is not completely fleshed out.
Set up. You can get one of those sheer curtains. That way you can get light in, but it kind of dilutes it a little bit.
Yeah.
But to me, I don't think it's too bad.
My hair is still diluting it a little bit. But it's also a good spot for my desk because I get sunshine every day.
Yep. Ayla, what are you doing? get the dogs every now and then.
Oh, doggos. Doggos.
All right. Ready?
Ready.
Let's try this. 3, 2, 1. Anybody wondering, I don't pick the music. I just pick timers with music. This one looked like a beautiful little scene to watch. I don't support the music though. All right. I'm about to send this. Got a little bit of editing done, but not much. So hopefully I didn't screw it up too bad. We'll see. Are you on mute?
Yes, I was ranting. I was like, this was so freaking hard. Also, it's not.
I felt this one was kind of easy, but not really.
I had in my mind, you'll see, I thought it was going to be spicier, but it's really hard to do when you don't get to write the between and it's just a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, and I went full narrative here, which was actually difficult. I will say that it was difficult because the what was it? The word name. I was like, how am I gonna get name incorporated then? Like, it made no sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that being hard.
So
I had fun with that part though. The one that I had a hard time with in this was tile. And I think you'll
Tile?
see.
I forgot tile. Oh. I mean, and I know exactly where I would put it too.
You want a 30-second grace period?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me go back up where it is, and I know exactly where I'm gonna put it. Hold on. What are they called?
That's funny though.
Well, now it's just clunky. But yeah, sure. All right, we'll go with that. Like, I knew how I wanted it to be described. So now I gotta jump back over to my email. Luckily, I still have it open. I'm just gonna, all right, the one I reply back to you on, that's the new one. Send. Done.
Did you do it, Aphrodite? Tell us you did it. I'm really excited.
Oh my God, please Instagram the story to one of us.
Yes.
So we can read it. If you want to share it, or if you don't want it to share it, but you do want feedback on it, we will fully support. We'll read it on our own and we'll send you feedback on it. So, all right, now I'm picking out a 10-minute timer.
Okay, I think I've got the right one.
Yeah, it was a reply to yours.
Okay.
To number 19, I think is what you said. What you sent yours.
I feel like mine is long now too because
mine was over. It was close to 350, if not over. Hold on, 347. That's what mine is. Yours is showing 347. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. All right. You ready for this last sprint?
Ready.
All right. Now we'll read. I'll let you know if I get done early.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. All right. Can you hear me? Cool. Because this didn't have sound. Let me get this up. I had to change because with cussing, even though I don't mind cussing in front of my kids, I rather it be reserved for the accidental cussing, like I stubbed my toe or something, not on purpose because I'm reading out loud. Which, by the way, I don't mind. Plus, my husband was being loud because he's cooking.
Yeah, I did a little extra with that one. Also, I had to like turn my computer a bit because the blinded by the light.
Just like a douche. I'm gonna have a karaoke at some point. All right, let me do the banners. Take that off. All right. I enjoyed your story. Since you read mine first, I'm gonna read yours this time first. All right. I'm gonna try, since it's all dialogue, but you did good with the dialogue tags. I'm still gonna try to like vary my voice a little bit. So we'll see. Get myself in the zone. I don't do guys' voices well. Even though I feel like I got a voice of like Kathleen Turner where it's a little bit deeper, more mellow. Because of that, I feel like I can't do a guy's voice.
It's hard though to be able to do both and it not just like kind of sound like, I mean, everyone's just like, I know that's you, and it's like, shh, pretend, imagine with me.
Yeah. Like people who narrate for a living for different books and stuff like that, amazing. So
yeah.
All right.
And Aphrodite, I did get yours. I got it.
Yes. Can't wait. All right. Chandra's story on When Dreams Come True. Come on, Hazel, show me the tramp stamp, Alex said. Just because you're on leave from the army doesn't mean you can talk to me like that, said Hazel. Just drop the towel. It isn't like we haven't been together for ages, he said. Come on, sit on the bed by me. Just let me see it. Would you rather I put on the teddy? She asked. No, I'd rather you drop the towel and let me have a look at the new tattoo, he said. Don't laugh at me. I've been gone for months. It's my job to help fortify our nation. It's your job to help fortify me. Oh, it's a job, is it? She asked. I'm just a working girl. That's not what I meant. You know what I meant, and you're putting words in my mouth. Before I show you, why don't you guess what it is? She said. All right. Animal, mineral, or vegetable? Animal. Now, here, give me a pillow too. Alec, give me back my towel. Oh no, Hazel. Oh no. What? What is it? Hazel, I don't know how to tell you this. Alec, just say it. You're really scaring me. Here, just slide over. You wouldn't believe me if I tell you. Let me get at the mirror. Hurry up and quit humming that riff while you're at it. It's so ominous. Ooh, he said. Just slip on the towel. Oh, no, I'm started singing that part. I would imagine him singing it. He's such a character already. I just slipped on the towel. I can't find the mirror, babe. Should I just tell you? Oh my God. That's what I've been saying this whole time. Here, feel how you got my heart racing. Feel how you got my heart racing? Now, this is what it's like when dreams come true, he said. God, Alec, you're so not funny. Just tell me what it says. Well, it's not my name. What? Ow, fuck, my ear, I said. Why are these two so fucking loud? I can't even hear now. Tito, you take a listen. Whatever, Smoke. You're always complaining. Unless they're doing the nasty. Do you want me to put the wire through the vent or not? So, hopefully I did good on the audio there. I'm trying to vary it. That was fun and everything. And then I started making characters sing when they weren't, but it's okay. And I put pauses in there when you didn't have a comma, but it's okay. So I love the characters here because even even Smoke and Tito at the very end, they still had attitude and character and stuff. Like, I don't think any character here was bland. I could probably name characteristics that each one of them has. Obviously, a little bit more between Hazel and Alec, but even Smoke and Tito, I'm like, are they cops? Are they, or are they, God, what is it called? Or I was thinking like gangsters or something like that. Like, I kind of gave them a gangster feel. But I definitely liked it. And even though there was no environment, I imagine they must have been in a bedroom or something because she's wrapped in a towel in their own apartment, but you still had interaction with the environment, such as snatching the towel, such as slipping on the tile, trying to go grab a mirror and stuff like that. So you still had the interaction that we normally would have gotten through the narrative piece of dialogue. And so I like that. And you did really good. I never once was I confused who was speaking when I was reading it, even the first go around where everything's new. And that's what I really liked. You did good with your dialogue tags. I especially like that it wasn't always at the beginning or the end. Sometimes it was in the middle and stuff. Actually, I don't think you had it at the beginning ever. So that actually kind of works out better. But now I'm really curious what the tattoo was. I want to know. Like, what's the tattoo? What happened? And everything. And I feel bad for Hazel. There's a lot of never mind when you get a tattoo and you later regret it, but when you get a tattoo that you didn't intend to get, yeah. So
I think I should have italicized.
I got.
It's not my name.
You're kidding! Yes, you should have italicized. Italicize that or something, or put it in those single quotes on either side. Type thing. One of those. They would have been like, yeah, that's. So you were trying to go for like a dude, where's my car? Like, what does mine say? Dude, what does mine say? Sweet situation. That's so funny. Oh. That would be horrible. It's a tattoo. Insert here. Thanks, Aphrodite. All right. I like those comments. We needed those.
I either have too few or too many.
It.
No in between.
Yeah. I like that. I feel that way sometimes. Like, if I'm trying to sound like a guy, I'm like a guy trying to sound like a girl. It's like,
you know what? However bad it is, you will never sound like Phil Gigante trying to sound like a girl.
Yep, very true.
And let me just tell you, there's nothing worse. Reading
honestly,
men, he's fantastic. Reading women, I'm like, please stop it. Stop it. Just stop it right now.
Don't even try. Yeah. With this story, honestly, there's nothing I would change. Like, because I feel like all the dialogue is important. Like, it adds value to it and stuff. The only one that I guess threw me for a loop because you couldn't do it, like convey it, is the quit humming that riff and everything's so ominous. Like, that took you out for a little bit because you didn't know he was and everything. So it's there could have, but that's kind of, it was, you wouldn't have put that in there if it wasn't for the word riff. You wouldn't have had him hum. So yeah, I
would have probably said that he was like humming the soundtrack to something instead of specifically saying he was humming a riff. Like, because the theme song from Jeopardy would have been good, or the song from Star Wars, the Vader one. Like, either of those would have been great. Yeah. Really,
Is it the Death March?
Yeah.
Come on, chameleon. Salamander adjacent.
I love that.
So 1,039 words in this stream.
Killing it.
Have a good day. I'm so glad you got some words in. Actually, That's what's great about this stream is that you can just listen in to us speaking at the end, and then do your own writing in the middle if you want, because you're guaranteed 80 minutes of sprinting with these streams.
Mm-hmm.
So it works. All right, let's see here. Yeah, that was the only part that took me back. Everything else I'm like sold, and like it was the normal questions, because you did well with like smoking Tito, and it kind of makes me want to know what's going on for like where apparently our narrator is Smoke. So I don't know. I want to find out what they do for a living. I wish I had more feedback, but it was just so good. Like the parts that made me laugh were like the "oh my god," that's what I've been saying the whole time. I've said that before. And then like him going, oh no, Hazel. Like I'm just like imagining just stretching it out and stuff. Like they and then even him, that's not what I meant. Like the pause, like don't put words in my mouth and stuff. Like it's just the guy I feel like stood out a lot more, I guess, if it came down to it, because a lot of his lines just really like I can imagine them perfectly. So yeah, I think I wouldn't like change anything.
I definitely was laughing while I was writing it, but I was also struggling because there was a lot of narrative that I wanted to put in between that I usually would have done.
Congratulations, 4KN for a 10K day. Hopefully the Aaron doesn't take too much time.
If you've never written flash fiction before and you forgot one little thing, that does not mean that you suck.
Yeah.
No.
It's fine. Do you remember me going, oh crap, I forgot tile? It's like, let's take a quick 30 seconds to add this in. So yeah, so I don't worry personally, just because I do outlining and then drafting. If my tense is off, like if I got time in the thing in the sprint, I'll edit it, but otherwise I'll change tense so quickly.
Yeah,
but it's okay because it's more about getting the story down.
I mean, for me, I went back at the last minute and I changed all of Hazel's dialogue tags from I to she, because she was initially the narrator, and then I was like, this is more fun if it's somebody else entirely. But it also explains why there's no exposition on the room or any of that stuff, because they can't see it. They can only hear from listening through the wall.
And they said put it through the vent and stuff. Yeah. All right. So sweet. I still liked it. Like, and what's great, you know what? You didn't kill anybody.
I didn't. I was so proud of me.
It was warm, fuzzy. It was laughter. It had me going. So
speaking of warm, fuzzy, and laughter.
Dummy. God, he looks like he's just gonna go to sleep.
Oh, he's mad at me.
No, he's trying
he jumped up on the desk, and it's my new desk, and his foot, like usually I have this cork mat on my desk, like under my keyboard.
Yeah.
So he hit this, and there's no cork mat, so he just his legs went out from under him.
This isn't fun anymore.
Yeah, he was like, I hate you.
All right.
Okay.
So you want to read mine or Aphrodite's? I'm okay with either.
Let me read yours, and then I'll read Aphrodite's after.
All right.
Alrighty. We ready? School is on a snow day. Children litter the park, divided into armies and fortifying their bunkers. A little girl with hazel eyes sits on her sled at the top of the biggest hill. She hugs her teddy tighter right before an older boy pushes them down the hill. The girl covers her bear's eyes as the rift steers them to the prepared war zone. As they slide behind the bunker, the snowballs soar. The girl's eyes glow wide as she looks back at the hill she just came down. The boy that pushed her motions for her to come back up. She shakes her head, whipping her pigtails across her face. An older girl with blonde hair shouting orders looks over to see the little girl with her teddy. She motions for Hazel Eyes to join her. Sorry, my scroll just. Can we? My computer just froze.
You want to use your phone or?
Yeah, I'm switching. I'm switching back to the email.
Oh, okay.
Okay, no, that's not working either. Cool, that's fine. I didn't even need that. All right. The older girl with blonde hair shouting orders looks over to see the little girl with her teddy. She motions for Hazel Eyes to join her. The little girl crawls over. Blondie continues throwing snowballs. She hands Hazel Eyes one and nods her head towards the battle. The little girl peeks over the block-tiled bunker and quickly ducks to avoid getting hit. Her eyebrows are raised as she looks at Teddy. She takes a deep breath and places her teddy at the base of the bunker. She promptly stands, stamping her feet in the snow, and throws the hardest she ever has in her life. Her snowball falls short of the target, a boy running up, but it distracts him enough to allow the blondie's snowball to collide with his chest. When he goes down, the blondie climbs over the bunker carrying a stick. She motions for followers. Hazel grabs Teddy and one snowball to follow her brethren. They overtake the other bunker easily. Blondie stands on top of the other bunker and reaches out her hand for Hazel to climb up. With both hands on the stick, they slam it into the ground to allow the towel tied to the top to catch the wind. Just then, the boy that pushed the little girl down the hill arrives. Hazel smiles and calls out his name before throwing the snowball she had at him. I really like it. I think it's so cute and it's warm fuzzy. And I feel like also as a little girl, I was a little girl with a teddy bear and there were older girls who were Blondie for me, who like included me in games that I wanted to play, but I was too scared to play. So I thought that vibe was really, really sweet, and also kind of like fixing someone else's crown without like telling them. You know, it was just very inclusive and encouraging, and just kind of. Then she even has that from friendship. She has that courage to put her comfort object down, which is her bear, and to do something on her own completely. And then it becomes fun, and the things that she was kind of holding on to as her safety nets, she's able to let go of and just kind of embrace the experience. Because at the end, after she's put her bear down, she doesn't, you know.
She picks him up again, right?
She does, but she's not focused on him in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's other things happening aside from her, like interacting with the bear, looking at the bear. What is that? Oh, it's on my screen. She's not like. It looked like there was like water on my neck, and I was like, "Dobby, did you drool on me?" But yeah, it wasn't.
Oh, I got one of the dogs with me. Since
we
were traveling, she's now my shadow again.
Oh yeah, for sure that happens. But after she is comfortable, she's not. Yeah, she interacts with other things outside the world, her little world, without it being directly through interactions with her bear or being like kind of almost filtered through the bear, of like checking to see if the bear's okay, covering the bear's eyes, you know, because that's a way she's protecting herself. So I like that growing up, coming of age experience. My computer decided to unfreeze. No, you cannot have that. So the part that I didn't love was school is on a snow day. I was like, and
I could have cut that and just said the kids were on the playground or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
and started it with the second sentence.
It's a little bit more of a declaration than I guess the rest of it is very picturesque, and that's just like a statement. Also, I was thinking, I don't know, I think you could, if you feel it's necessary to include that it is a snow day, but that everyone's at school, I think it would be interesting to hear a little bit more about why it is a snow day and everyone's at school. Because
I didn't even picture them at school, because it could have been a park. I said at the park or something like that.
Okay. So yeah, that was a little confusing then for me too, because I was like, is it a snow day? Are they at school playing on the snow? Why aren't they home on a snow day? Yeah, so that makes more sense though when you're saying it's at a park. My favorite part,
Nicole, sorry, I'm calling you Nikki. Yeah, that line is more of a telling than showing. Like you could discern yourself that it could have been out of school. If I said a time of day or I said it was a Thursday, then it would pique the reader to be like, oh, school's out or something. There's other ways I could have conveyed it without saying school's out or school's on a snow day or something.
Mm-hmm. But even like saying, you know, she stepped off the bus into X, Y, and Z or whatever. But my favorite lines were the last two. Blondie stands on top of the other bunker and reaches out her hand for Hazel to climb up. With both hands on the stick, they slam it into the ground to allow the towel tied to the top to catch wind. Just then, the boy that pushed the little girl down the hill arrives. Hazel smiles and calls out his name before throwing the snowball she had at him. I like that one because it's like also she's conquered her fear at the same time. And now it's become like, instead of it being that terrifying thing, she's like playing a game with him and she's like, haha, I got you. I thought that was really sweet. So that was my favorite, but I thought it was a great way to like bring the whole story together. And yeah, I just really like the story.
Okay. So going back to Nicole's comment about telling, not showing, it was actually to this comment of where she wishes she could write like us. You mean frantically and incorrectly sometimes? Cool, thanks. But she does a lot of, she said, smiling at him and giving him a hug. Honestly, smiling at him and giving him a hug could convey the closeness that the characters have. That's not necessarily telling or anything. It's sometimes the little gestures we give in the interaction, not what we say to each other, but how we interact with each other. Like I remember on one of the prompts we did, I had the characters kind of a uplifting let me help you fix your crown situation cheerleader, and the character like put her hands on the table and was like, sweetie. And then the other character like had her hands on top of the other ones. Like that was the interactions. And then bottom character finally flipped around and actually enclosed the hands together. So it was telling, but at the same time that was showing the connection these two characters had and how comfortable they were with each other and how they felt about each other.
Well, and also, like at some point, like people always say, "Oh, show don't tell," but do you really need an entire paragraph talking about how tightly they hugged each other, or do you really just need to say she gave him a hug? Because it really depends on
Yeah.
what your objective is. Like now, if the purpose of the hug is that, you know, she hugged him tightly, letting her hand trail down his coat and slip something into his pocket, that's a different kind of hug.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it is.
for that, you
we're
want
going to thriller, crime, something.
Right.
And then other times is like a battle scene.
Mhm.
Like that snowball fight. I didn't need to explain like each person's throw and stuff. Just be like they threw snowballs.
Mhm.
The
They were flying
you
through
can
the
kind
air.
of picture.
They hit people.
Yeah, like the most description that I actually think conveyed the snowball thing was the snowball soared or began to soar, not snore. And that conveyed like you can kind of imagine like whoa, that's kind of daunting and
Well, that's
stuff
what I
like
was
that,
thinking.
so.
Is she's sliding down the tallest hill there, and she's like holding her bear, looking up at the sky, and there's just all these snowballs flying over her head. And you know, when you're that small, if there's like 5 snowballs,
Everything
it's like
is-
there's 20. And like
Yeah.
when you're telling that story,
Yeah.
you're like, oh my gosh, there were hundreds of snowballs. And everyone's like,
I nearly got my head cut off.
Yeah,
So.
exactly.
All right. The quicker, after I said, the quicker I need to convey, the more I tell. The more time I have, the more show you get from me.
Well, I also think
that makes sense. Like
it depends on the intention, because in this case, the story wasn't about the snowball fight itself. The snowball fight is happening, but it's about this little girl who I'm guessing this is her first snowball fight.
Exactly.
So
well, that's what we'll go with. Well, and I would say like the focus, so the growth, that's something to consider. We get on these topics sometimes and it's like a bigger writer problem or issue, but where's the focus? Like, yes, I could have been detailed on the snowball fight or sliding down the hill, but the actual point of this flash fiction was the little girl's growth. And so therefore the things that I described was her covering her bear's eyes, her setting the bear down, her peeking over the edge going, oh, and like thinking she's about to get her head like knocked with a snowball and everything. It was her interaction with the world, and that's where you got most of the showing. So when I told or showed too much, if I showed too much on other stuff, but I think if it's when I told on other things that wasn't necessary, such as school has a snow day, that's where the reader's taking it back, because the focus of the story after you read through it is the girl. Hazel Eyes.
I do have a question. Does she actually say his name at the end, or is she actually nonverbal and she's just thinking she said his name?
I'm going to leave that one up to interpretation, because that's better than anything I could do. This is why I love stories. It's art. Everything, because what if the whole reason why it's all narrative is because the little girl she's mute, whether it's selective or not. Wow, that was genius. Bravo.
Hey, it's your story.
That's to you, not to me.
Your story is the one that made me think that.
Yeah. So
Love
okay.
it.
Are any other points on mine before we go to Aphrodite's? Dobby, we're busy.
He just wrote FG, FG, FG all the way down my page and then a C at the end. Also, he's furry.
I'm trying to pronounce that.
Final thoughts on your story. Yes, like. I think more narrative for you is what we're getting out of this.
Sweet.
Dobby agrees with me. So
there's always more challenges.
Obviously, it must be right.
Definitely.
Why is he so cute?
Awesome. So you don't murder him?
For real, though. He do be trying my patience sometimes. All right. Are we ready for Aphrodite's story?
Yeah, hold on.
Also, I have-
So Nicole said after she's done writing her book, she's going to get back and fix her battle scene now. Well, it depends where the focus is.
Yeah.
If it's like Game of Thrones, the battle is like you got like 8 main characters in the battle. You're going to follow them and find out what's going on.
And just think about that when you write the scene or when you're editing the scene, because when you first write a scene, like, it super doesn't matter. But like, even with my flash fiction, I start out, I just write. I don't really have a huge plan. And then after I get through with it, that's part of my editing process, is because now I know where the story needs to go. Let me make sure it goes there. So I change some things. I change whose point of view we're following, and I maybe change the tense sometimes because I want the focus of the story to change. But that's okay. And if you need to change the focus of the story because you now know exactly what that scene needs to do, that's totally okay. But like, you built the thing and now you're organizing your puzzle pieces and assigning each of the puzzle pieces a job.
Well, and here's the thing, like, until you publish, and sometimes even after you publish, you can change it as many times as you want. It's okay. So
true facts. Also, my cat is making my face itch because he is shedding so very much. And I just love that for you.
Did you take your medicine today?
I did. Thank goodness. But he just was rubbing his face on my face, and I'm like, this is not ideal. And do not eat that. Okay. Aphrodite's story.
Yes.
Max tore into his guitar like a man possessed. The bed squeaked and gave in as he played on with his private concert for one. He was into it, deep. Hazel couldn't help but smile as she exited the shower and tried not to slip on the tile as she made her way toward the door. She didn't bother to dry off. She wrapped a towel around her head and opened the door to her suite. She loved to watch him play. As soon as she got the door open, he stopped. He didn't hear her or know she was there. He just stopped cold. Oh, babe, why'd you stop? I was really digging that riff. Wasn't working for me. I liked it. Hazel unwrapped the towel from her head and let her damp hair fall to her shoulders. Did you give it a name at least? A name? Title? My bad. He laughed. I knew what you meant, just fucking with you. He turned and looked up at her, still dripping from the shower. His jaw slacked as his eyes drank her in. Speaking of, he motioned for her to come closer. Something on your mind, she says with a grin. Come find out. Hazel walked over to her nightstand and opened an army green box with stamps all over it, as if it were very well traveled. She reached in and pulled out a slinky pink teddy, then teasingly slipped it into it, never taking her eyes off of him. Why are you even bothering? Max asked as he moved in tight. I'm probably going to rip it to shreds. To fortify my defenses, she said, as she slid the flimsy spaghetti straps over her shoulders. You are not allowed to have me unless you can get through my lace fortress without the tiniest tear in the garment. You don't fight fair, he says, grabbing her. Where's the fun in that? I like it. That is so
I was
fun.
laughing so much. There was just so much cuteness and everything.
That was very cute.
The only part that I got confused on, if I'll go into that, is I imagined her wrapping a towel around her. And I was like, oh no, it's around her head. And then she took it off her head. But then I was like, wait, wasn't there still a towel around her? Like, I was getting confused towel-wise.
So I may have read this confusingly, but what I understood was that she had the towel wrapped around her. Then she took it off and wrapped it around her head. And then she took it off. And then she was changing into the teddy.
The teddy. But I love the play on words and stuff, because you and Aphrodite kind of use them in similar ways. and such. Like I went all like freaking Sesame Street, and y'all went like late night TV, like HBO after 10 p.m. So I still loved it and everything because it had me laughing. Like so going back to showing and telling, like you showed really well through dialogue and through the interactions with each other of how they felt towards each other, how they it was comfortable and everything. Like they uplifted each other.
I really liked the analogy with the to fortify my defenses. I thought that was very funny.
Yes, that was one of my favorites. It's like you got more layers, and then to make it a game and be like, you know what? You will have fun if you get this off me without ripping it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like, that's really cute, but also the you don't fight fair, so it like becomes like the whole inside joke. I thought that was
the bickering.
Yes, the good banter.
What? I didn't get that at all.
I didn't. Oh, you didn't make it to the end. Okay, yeah, because I didn't get that either.
Oh no! Like you just gave me like the beginnings of the first 5 minutes of Up, but you gave me the first 2 minutes without telling me that she's gonna die or something. Like that's what I'm getting here.
Yes.
Oh,
you were like, did you like that?
So
they break up.
What? They talking with the chat, like so apparently she never had the towel around her. So I remember her skipping drying off, but she just didn't wear a towel, so she was just kind of going, as Michael puts it, commando and everything. Oh, Nicola put it. Sorry, Nicole. Sorry, why am I calling everyone by the wrong name? I'm like scrolling through these messages. It's on my phone, and yes, I have an 11 Pro Max, but still, that means the screen is still like only this big. Okay, it's better on my computer. Dude, why am I like my?
No.
Okay.
It do be like that sometimes.
Yeah. So, but
no, I think
yeah, I still loved it. I kind of want to know how it's going to end up them breaking up now. Like I kind of want to read the rest.
Aphrodite,
but
could
here's
you
the thing.
finish
What's
that,
beautiful?
Please?
Yeah, and send it. What's kind of cool though about flash fiction is that let's say you do, because Aphrodite did have a few more. Let's say you go over 1,000. In editing, you can cut out the stuff. Like let's say if my story was over 1,000, then I will absolutely be cutting, and I'm probably going to do it anyway. Cut out schools on a snow day. There's like 4 words right there that I could cut out to help get my words down.
I'm really bummed that they're breaking up. I'm sorry, I'm stuck on that.
I know. I wanted them to, like, just because I don't want it to happen doesn't mean it wouldn't make a good story to read. But at the same time, having read this far, I'm like, it's adorable.
Also, Aphrodite, this is your first time writing flash fiction, and you killed it. And also know that you have 677 words left that you could add in there, and it would still be flash fiction. So
yeah. And the thing with this, you killed it, because what Chandra and I want to say is that the flash fiction should evoke emotion. Is like those are the ones that are really good. The ones that give you warm fuzzies or make you go, or make you like question or something. Like all the emotions, even if it just puts a smile on your face as you're reading it. Like I even like chicken soup stories or something. I'm just like, oh, it could be something simple. As long as the emotion isn't boredom, you're safe.
Yes.
Unless that's what you're going for some reason in the story. But I can't think of any story that wants to go for complete utter boredom, like Bill Nye reading it or something. Not Bill Nye. Oh God, what was it? Ben Stein. There we go. If anybody, the guy that did the Clear Eye commercial where it's like red eyes, try clear eyes. That guy. He couldn't keep playing because he knew the evening was going to be hard. Oh. like each other but aren't in love. Oh, you hate to see it. Like there's people who are like best friends, and they wouldn't want to be without each other. But it's you gotta have that little. I call it the spark, the oomph.
I don't know. I don't know about the whole spark thing. Maybe
I feel like you like so the way I think of love, like when it comes to the spark,
mm-hmm.
and this can be written in the stories too, or at least when I try to write love in my stories, but that where your significant other is doing something mundane, like really, it really shouldn't like not even turn you on, but make you like vacuuming, wiping down the counters, and you just look at them and you give them that look, that like that smile, you're just admiring them and everything. That's what I call like that I love you look and everything. Like you're just in that moment and trying to remember them, trying to soak them in and everything. Even if they're not talking to you, you just look at them with that smile. And that's what I'm talking about when I mean like that spark. That
I like what Aphrodite said. I'm more than that camp. Because
yes,
because I think it's like a one part of that is personality, and two, I think after like the initial like hormonal phase of attraction to a person,
lust,
that one, it like it changes, and so unless your relationship is a choice already, then things will fizzle. But when you have the, depending on your mindset, and that's not to say outside of that they can't fizzle anyway, but depending on your mindset about how you approach it, as soon as you get to that break where the hormones aren't helping you anymore, it's like, well, this has been real. And then
yes, Aphrodite, you popped your flash cherry. Welcome to the club.
Yes.
Yay!
Do we have converts now?
Yeah. Should we get a name for them? Going for boredom. Actually, I mean, if you're gonna, technically, I would say if you really want to learn how to show, or is it telling? I think it's telling a little bit when you're setting a scene, because so I'm thinking in the bad sense, if you're going for boredom, is, and someone's gonna hate me for this, but J.R. Tolkien with Lord of the Rings and that whole series, like, I'm just saying, I don't need every leaf on every tree described.
So I have a thought on this, and this goes for both Asimov and Tolkien.
Yeah, you flashed us. I love these play on words. Oh, the emojis. Yeah, great. Okay, all right. So you were saying, Chandra, before the chat
for both Asimov and Tolkien, where they are amongst the originators of a genre, they have to do a bit more exposition, a bit more telling.
Very true.
Because no one's ever seen anything like this before. So they do tell too much, but they have to, because nobody there's no like movies of this. There's no other examples. When we want to go
internet to search up the pictures and stuff, and
right
or to feed off previous.
Yeah.
God, it was like I was watching the Movies That Made Us, and they were talking about how Halloween was created. They were like, we want a slasher film where he kills babysitters. And I'm like, that just sounds so cliche. Then I go, wait a second. When this came out, that wasn't cliche. They created the cliche.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that moment. And it's kind of like what you're saying is when these authors started, like, they had to describe everything, because not just they were creating a genre, but also like travel wasn't as often. You wouldn't be able to describe New Zealand mountains and everything, because not everyone's been there, not everyone's seen pictures of it and such. So yeah, that makes sense. Like when you're creating something new, you should build off what already exists and not reinvent the wheel, but at the same time, you should also fill in the gaps. Kind of like how our vision, technically, we all have a blind spot like right in front of us, but our brain fills it in.
Well, and that's the thing for us now is if I go back and I write science fiction, or if I write fantasy, for science fiction, I can say a spaceship. And you know generally what I'm talking about. But the first person to write about a spaceship has to be like, okay, is it like a ship with sails in space?
Like, are we reenacting like Treasure Planet, like how they did those spaceships?
Is it a ship, like a sea ship with a lot of space in it? Like, you got to give me more. So I think that's where a lot of it comes. But now that we have that foundation, we can just say it's a spaceship. If we do something different with that spaceship that's never been done before, then we will give it more descriptors. But there's enough science fiction worlds where I could say, have a character say something about what we're on the USS Enterprise, and everyone's going to know what I'm talking about. So I think the context is important. And that's why I still enjoy reading books like that, even though it takes me a very long time, because yes, I do find them boring at times. But the reason I read them is, yes, I want to see the original story and how our adaptations have varied since then. But I'm also interested in the writer's perspective and seeing the foundations of the genre. That's what I enjoy about them.
Hi, Aphrodite. You won't miss much. We're about to wrap up. I'm glad you sent your story in, though.
Yes, that was fantastic. And it spawned this whole
you talked
conversation.
You talked about film adaptations and stuff, and I saw trivia, and it's one of the books that I stole from my parents and I ended up reading on the drive yesterday. But it is Christmas movie trivia, and one of them is A Christmas Carol. And the Christmas Carol has had over 80 adaptations over the years. So
that's crazy.
I found that interesting.
Ooh,
I know, but it makes so much sense.
We should do a flash fiction trivia, something or other.
Wait, of other flash fiction stories?
I don't know. Like, I haven't even thought about it. Just some kind of trivia that's flash fiction related.
We can probably do something.
Ooh, or maybe also a reading of some flash fiction that is like outside of the copyright.
Oh yeah, like God, what is it called? Like open source, free range, or something like that. Whatever it's called.
Open source, yeah.
I was actually thinking about that because, like, I read to my son, every night, and I was like, I wonder if I could like have an entire section of my YouTube channel just me reading books, because I get animated with it, but then I was like, I think some of these books I wouldn't be allowed to.
Yeah, but if it is open source.
Open source, that's what it is. I was like, what? Where?
Christmas Carol's my favorite too.
Yeah, or royalty free type stuff.
Yeah, I think that would be fun.
Okay, so A Christmas Carol is Aphrodite's favorite tale of all time, and she wrote a rock opera version and then another version about a beautician. That makes me think of the movie with Fran Drescher, The Beautician and the Beast. Hilarious.
Oh, I've never seen that, but I love Fran Drescher. I'm actually starting
public domain.
Thank you. We were both out here struggling.
Yes, I wish there was confetti, like activity anytime I hit word goals and stuff. I wish.
Okay. I wish that Google Docs had that when I typed the end.
I know. Like, just type the word at the end. Hopefully you don't end up typing it not accidentally, but you have to type it somewhere else.
What do you think, this is the end of us? And then Google's like, ta-da! No.
Yeah. It's like when you go to a play or something, you're like, yeah. Oh no, it's not the okay.
Or when you're singing along to the radio and it's got like an intro and you lose count of how many there's in, and then you start singing too early.
Mm-hmm. Every time. So, okay. I think it's about time that I gotta go. It's been 3.5 hours, which is actually pretty low for us.
Yeah, I think we did great. First of all, I had a blast, and now I need to count up my words and finish my my nano project. I'm at 91.94%. I have 45,968 words.
Got it. It's only day 28. Yeah. I think you can do it.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and finish it today. So what I can hit my 50K for nano, but I'm not nearly done with this draft. So,
yeah. To me, I think it's the last time I did nano, actually it was the first time. Because I did the camp nano for the first, that was my first introduction. But I wrote a story in like 28 days. It was 70-something thousand words, or it was 68 by the time I was done. But that was just me because I had this idea for like 5 years and I finally threw it down. Then I did camp nano to edit it, and then I did NaNoWriMo for my sci-fi book. But I had the whole idea down. It was like 28,000 words, but it was kind of like a zero draft. So now I'm going back through and filling in more details and being more narrative because I'm dialogue heavy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think that's where, I don't know, some of my chapters are long. Like some of them are really long. I think my
longest chapter was close to, I think they were like 7,000. But either way.
Yeah. I mean, some of them are just really long, and it's just like that. And that's not a bad thing, but it's just like I'm still on chapter 16, I think. And I have planned to have like 21 chapters.
Most of my chapters were around 5K.
Yeah. Chapter 13 is like 4,200 words, and that's one of my long chapters. I do have a couple short ones, but I'm like, this is gonna.
I think my shortest chapter was like 3,000, but most of them were 5,000. And this is on the one that I'm at like 70,000 words total, and that I'm actually trying to query. Which anybody, heads up, PitMad is coming out on December 2nd, and I think I'm gonna do it. So I gotta work on that.
That's exciting.
Nope, can't wait.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of chapter 15, so I have 6 chapters more to write, and then the epilogue. And I've already written 2 bonus scenes that I'm not sure where they're going to end up, if they're going to stay in or not. And I'm at 40,000 for this project, and then the rest of my words are like everything I've done in November. So I've been counting all of those.
Nicole is speaking it to existence that you can do it.
I'm for sure winning. Like I'm winning either today or tomorrow.
Everyone's saying it.
It's happening either today or tomorrow. But then after that, I still have to finish this book before the end of the year because that's on my goal. Yeah. So
I'm already gonna try to enlist your help. At least by mid-January. For the February idea.
Okay.
To get the layout stuff. Like God, what is it called? Graphic design skills.
Oh, so yes. That will be this is all what I'm gonna be. I have to finish this. I really need to finish it before the end of the month. I don't know how I'm gonna finish 6 chapters. That's not my problem. I'm going to win nano, then I'll focus on finishing the 6 chapters. It's whatever, because then I have to finish before the end of the year. I have to finish a beta reading project, which I was supposed to finish time ago, and I'm using time as a.
Oh my goodness.
There's a lot in there, and then I have to write 10K of world building for World Ember. So
we'll get there.
Yes, I've made life choices. Were they good choices? We don't have to talk about that.
Like I said, as long as I have, like, technically, I just need 2 promo things, I think, by mid-January, so then I can promote it.
Yeah.
And then have all, like, templates set up, which I
Oh,
can
yeah,
create
that's
some of
no
them
problem.
already.
Beginning of January, we knock that out. It'll be great. I just have to get through December because those things have to be done
Okay.
in December.
So don't worry about the stuff that I'm asking your help with, because that's me.
Oh no, I'm just
adding more to your plate until January.
No, I'm just telling you as like an accountability thing. Of like,
okay. Oh yeah, no, I will come and slap you across the face if I need to and say get to writing.
Yeah. So
on that, then get to writing.
Happy Nano, everybody.
Nail this. Yes, happy Nano. Congratulations for getting it. I hope everyone's enjoying their writing, and we're breaking down barriers, whether it's nano barriers, flash fiction barriers. We're there.
Yeah, it's happening.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, chat, for joining us. We will be here next week on Chandra's channel, Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern, right?
Let's.
Writing it down before you forget?
Yep, that's correct. I have it written down. Check. That's on the 4th.
All right, perfect.
Saturday, December 4th.
Yep.
Okie doke.
So we'll go with it.
Thank you.
All right. Oh,
see y'all.
Shoot, hold on. Before I exit out, I got to make sure that I exit out on my laptop. Otherwise, it will not take on both items.
I definitely
just important safety tip
because I'm not used to it.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming. It's not working. I can't get it to work. I'm just going to close everything out.
Oh no. Bye.